Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Joe Talks Politics. I am your host, Joseph Musia. Today, we tackle the topic of a government of national unity. This is the new talk in the country following the general elections in which the ANC lost its majority and now must work with other parties to form a government. We look at the idea of a GNU and how it differs from a coalition. Let's get right into it. South Africa waited in nervous anticipation on Thursday as the ANC held a special meeting of its National Executive Committee. Even though South Africans finally dumped it in their droves in these elections, it remains the single largest party in the country with 40% of the votes cast. This means it will have a significant say in any government that is to be formed. The immediate question facing members of the NEC was, who are we willing to bring into a coalition or government of national unity? Going into the meeting, it was clear that the ANC remains a divided house. While the official position was that the party would talk to everybody about forming a government, some were so opposed to one option that they could not wait to raise their issues in the meeting. It was rather pitiful to see a senior leader of the party, former Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, stumbling over her words during an SABC interview about why it was treasonous for anyone to even think of going into a coalition with the Democratic Alliance. Her main point being that the ANC and the DA's ideological differences are such that it was inconceivable that they could govern together. A significant section of the ANC leadership and membership holds this point of view, and they are mainly the ones who have openly expressed themselves. What they seem not to be reckoning with, however, is that if the ANC is thinking about its long-term future, it will have to make compromises. It has lost power. The people no longer trust it to govern on its own. The party is over. The ANC lost power because it was, among others, clinging on to ideological positions that saw it unable to manage the affairs of an advanced economy that South Africa has. It is this ideological rigidity that saw ANC government after government pour billions of rands into state-owned businesses like Eskom, SAA and Denel, among others. This is money that was needed elsewhere, including for the provision of proper education and health facilities, equipment for the police, as well as the maintenance of water infrastructure, to name just a few. And because of these failures, the voters rejected them. There is also a strong grouping led by the president that believes that working with the DA will advance good governance, bring about political stability and economic growth, and assure investors about the country's seriousness to address its challenges. Many had expected that when he eventually addressed the media at the end of the NEC meeting, Ramaphosa would announce a specific outcome. It was somehow disappointing when he came forward to say yet another task team will go out to consult some more with a view to forming a government of national unity.
The purpose of the government of national unity must be first and foremost be to tackle the pressing issues that South Africans want to be addressed. These issues include job creation and the growth of our economy that will be inclusive, the high cost of living, service delivery, crime and corruption. The NEC has agreed that this moment calls for the broadest unity of the people of South Africa. This moment also calls for multi-party cooperation and multi-stakeholder collaboration if we are to overcome the severe challenges that confront our country.
So what is a government of national unity and how does it differ from a coalition? The two concepts generally mean the same thing. They refer to political parties coming together to form a government. Where they differ is in intention. A coalition is usually the coming together of two or more parties mainly to gain a majority. A government of national unity, on the other hand, is aimed more at advancing a common national interest and gain a broad consensus. In practice, how will this work? If you have 7 parties saying they all agree to be part of this government, does the ANC select which ones to include, or is everyone in? South Africa has had governments of national unity before, but in those instances, the ANC had the numbers to work on its own. The others understood that they were mere invitees. How will decisions be made? Is it a question of once the big parties agree, then we move forward? The answers will emerge as it becomes clear who is in and who is out. While it may start with the noble intention of being inclusive, we may end up with a situation where the realities of a polarized political environment could mean we end up with the largest parties having to engage in horse trading anyway for progress to be made. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit like and subscribe to grow this podcast. See you in the next one.